Listen, I know everybody wants to get all wrapped and cozy with Dillon Brooks and John Morant. First off, I've had enough of Dillon Brooks. He's not good enough to be tweaking LeBron. This is an easy one. It's a layup. Dillon Brooks now, I am going to go crazy. Who leads the world in technical fouls, who is unembraceable if you're not a Memphis fan. And then Morant, too. And then you lose a horrific game in Game 4. When LeBron gets the layup, you lose in overtime. And then you don't talk to the reporters after the game. I know I'm old school. Got a lot of guys there on deadline, need a quote, and the both of you blow off the media? Blow off the media. Did Memphis say you got to talk to the media? You're John Morant, you're making $50 million. You can't give the media 5 minutes. And Brooks, who's got a lot to say, who thinks the world wants to hear from him. And by the way, Dillon, they don't. They don't. Trust me, they have no interest.
I need to go home.
But then, when we need to hear a quote, hey, you know what? This is an awful loss. You blow everybody off and go to the team plan and don't talk. That is a disgrace. Those two bother me.
Here's RJ addressed this yesterday, and I'm glad you brought this up. It's something you should be mad about. It's something you should be mad about. I'm mad about Julius Randle.
Yes.
Didn't close Game 4 at the Garden.
Absolutely.
He leaves before talking to
Good
you.
point. I should have brought that one up.
Here's my advice to any NBA player. When you don't talk to the media, what was a minor story then becomes a bigger story.
Right.
Just own it. Take ownership
5
of it.
minutes.
Take ownership of
I
it.
think it's evidence on the part of a few, because most players don't do that.
Yeah, correct.
It's a sign of mental weakness. You can talk when you think you're in a good position, but the second it twists negatively towards you, you can't take it. And it really, really shows your absence of intestinal fortitude. I certainly believe that is the case with Julius Randle. I'm very disappointed in him because New Yorkers loved him for a couple of years ago. Then he went downhill last year. He couldn't take the heat. This year he's playing well. They gave him some love again. But then you sticking up the joint in a few games, and you won the game after Tom Thibodeau benched you. And then you won the game, and you walked out, and you were ticked off.
I should have brought him up.
So winning wasn't a priority.
Good one.
You get your numbers were.
You're on fire.
So
today.
that one's good. Now, this one's a little personal.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
All right,
Lord.
let me get.
Oh, Lord.
When I was a little kid,
Oh, goodness.
I was a very good shortstop in Little League Baseball. I was 10 years old. My father was nowhere around, and I made plays like Robin Yount. You know who Robin Yount is?
Yes! Woman shortstop for the Milwaukee Bucks.
There you go.
Brewers. Yes.
I got hits. I hit 3 in the lineup. I ran the bases great. I was a good little player. The next year, God rest his soul, Anthony Russo coached. He was my manager, my father. DiMaggio, Garrick, the Yankees. He thought that I was the next Roger Peckinpah. You don't know who he is.
I don't know that name.
I was not. And I freaked out, and I stunk the rest of my day. I bring this up. Did you hear what happened this past week with a poor little 8-year-old kid? Did you see this? He's playing for his father, which should be an emotional, happy moment. Happy. In a gym in Brooklyn in front of a lot of people. And the father
Is this you?
argues about he's 8 years old, about a traveling call, gets it technical, and the officials throw him out. The poor kid's playing little pee-wee basketball, and his old man's on the sidelines, can't say anything, he's been ejected. And then the other assistant, I don't know who, an uncle? An other assistant, he gets it technical later on in the game. He gets thrown out. The little 8-year-old kids on the other team make their free throws, and they lose.
Who's the father?
The father is here for crying out loud. Think about this for a second. And I went through this with Tony. I stunk. Mid-70s. Even Jerry West couldn't bail me out. Your son is emotionally scarred for life. You should be ashamed.
I didn't know about the story, JJ. I didn't know you got ejected.
First of all, the ejection was unwarranted, and I stand by that. Secondly, you had your facts wrong. It was actually in central New Jersey. It was not in Brooklyn. And thirdly, I think this is where I have the real beef here. I think you're inferring that my son stinks. My
No,
son.
he was good, but now he's in, like I was good, and my father took over there instead of him.
No.
He's saying that you may have
you're
scarred
scarring
your
him.
son.
No,
You're
no,
scarring
no.
him.
So it might compromise his
So
skills.
you
I got
ejected him?
thrown out with about 3 minutes to go, with 17 seconds to go. He hit a corner three, should have been an N1, to tie the game. Then the subsequent technical foul was because we didn't have any timeouts. The coach, Gio, he's not an uncle, he's not my brother. Gio got a technical for not having any timeouts. All right, and we lost on that free throw.
JJ,
Yeah.
you're a father first.
You guys are brutal.
How do you get ejected in front of your 8-year-old child?
All I asked was, are you seriously not going to? I didn't raise my voice.
You
I
didn't raise
use
your voice.
profanity. I did not use any profanity.
You didn't raise your voice. You just came over to the ref all calm and nice.
I used a sarcastic tone.
Oh.
Maybe it was my tone. But no, I stand by. I stand by my actions in Central New Jersey.
You stand by your actions.
stand by my actions.
You stand by your actions on national television.
I know I'm an example to these kids,
That's
these
right.
8 and 9-year-olds. I know I'm an example.
That's right.
All right?
And
I
you're
know I'm an
standing by
example.
your actions
I'm standing by my
even
actions.
though you got ejected.
Yes.
Talk to him.
Yes.
Talk to him.
This is what you're setting your son up for.
Got it.
Airing his grievances out on television because he doesn't have a therapist.
Wouldn't do that, JJ.
You guys are brutal. You guys are brutal.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.